Miami Dolphins had an off day at training camp today, but there is still a lot that we need to talk about. Noah Fant signed with the Cincinnati Bengals, not with Miami. We'll break down where the tight end room stands and how much of a disappointment that was for me personally. Could we see a new pass rush package for the Miami Dolphins? And then plus we'll round out the show by talking about Cam Smith. Is he finally taking a step in the right direction to making himself more available for the Fins? I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today. We'll start with Noah Fant because Adam Schefter had the news early this morning that Fant is signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. If you remember, after he was released by Seattle, he visited 3 NFL teams, New Orleans, Cincinnati, and Miami. I was very hopeful the Dolphins were going to sign him due to how bad this tight end room is. That is not the case. He joins Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and the rest of that loaded Cincinnati Bengals offense. And I'll be honest, this one is disappointing in my opinion. I know there were a lot of people that were talking about if they should go sign a tight end like Noah Fant, or should they just focus on adding another corner after the Kader Kohou injury. I understand both sides of the equation, but I feel so uneasy about this tight end room, and I'll showcase my uneasy feeling more in just a minute. But we're continuing to drop 2 videos every day, and my bosses want to make sure that you guys are enjoying our 2 videos a day. So if you want us to continue to bring 2 videos every single day in the month of August and during the season, like that video and show my bosses that you guys appreciate what we're doing. Let's get back to Noah Fant now because I really wanted him. I made a couple videos on Noah. I made a short. I was all in because he would have instantly upgraded your tight end room and would have been a perfect Jonnu Smith replacement, in my opinion. Both have similar skill sets. Fant would have been cheaper than what Jonnu would have been, and it just made a lot of sense to me. And I get corner as a need, especially with Kader Kohou out for the year. But this tight end room is just flat out atrocious, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. Darren Waller cannot be trusted even after you traded for him. He has a non-guaranteed deal, and he didn't play last season. He was retired. Julian Hill and Pharoah Brown simply can't be a tight end 1, tight end 2 duo in the National Football League. How are we seriously going to take this tight end room for serious? I just don't think you can do it. It doesn't really compute to me that people believe this will be a solid room. And I know people might say that, hey, they're not going to use tight ends as often as they did last year. They'll use Nick Westbrook-Ikini, Malik Washington more over the middle of the field, kind of replacing the tight end production from Jonnu Smith in the aggregate. And I do see Miami doing that to a degree, but it still is very helpful for yourself to have a tight end that is actually a threat because it just adds a layer to your offense. And Darren Waller still is on the PUP list. He still hasn't participated in any team activities. He's been working on the side with tight end coach John Embry, and I just don't think that we can seriously sit here and believe that he is going to be able to be a really productive player for us this season. I am optimistic that he can get to that point, but it is hard for me to actually say with a straight face on camera for you guys that I believe he will be good, because I just simply can't do that with the fact he didn't play football last season and really wasn't good the final 2 years that he was playing in the National Football League before he retired for the New York Giants. And Barry Jackson shared a little bit of an insight on this tight end room. Julian Hill, considered the front runner to be the starting inline tight end, seems in jeopardy of losing that job to Pharoah Brown, who Miami signed in free agency. Either could be a 40 snaps per game player or off the team altogether. And this is my point. Are we seriously debating Julian Hill and Pharoah Brown as a starting inline tight end? That just tells us where we're at, man. And I hate to be negative Nick sometimes. I do, but I'm just not going to sit up here and think it's all right. And I get it, tight end isn't the most impressive and important position in the world, but this is as ugly as it gets. I truly do believe Miami is the worst tight end room in the NFL. I mean, if you can point to another tight end depth chart across the other 31 NFL teams and say that's definitively worse, I'll listen to you, but I don't think there is one worse than the Miami Dolphins. It is really, really bad. I think Miami still should sign a tight end, and I'll show some other options since they missed out on Noah Fant here in a second. But do you believe Miami needs to sign a tight end? Type Y for yes or type N for no. When you look at the free agent tight ends on the market, I think this is the clear-cut top three, and it's not pretty. Hayden Hurst, the former first-round pick who's bounced around in Atlanta, Los Angeles. C.J. Uzomah, who had a big year in Cincinnati and then got paid by the Jets and then never did anything. Gerald Everett, the longtime veteran that played for the Chargers, the Bears, and probably the most productive tight end out of these three in their career. Now, Everett did not have a good season last year. He basically didn't play for the Chicago Bears after he was signed to be their tight end too, and was a massive disappointment. Only had 8 receptions, 36 yards. And with that being said, though, I think it would be the one I would sign because he is a veteran. He has had the most success out of those three guys. I think if I power rank the 3 tight ends we showed, Everett would be 1, Hayden Hurst would be 2, and C.J. Uzomah would be number 3. But we're not talking about good players that would inspire a lot of confidence in me to have them be one of your top tight ends. It would just be added veteran depth to a group that is not very good right now. I think the tight end room is a serious question mark for the Fins as we get closer to the preseason and the regular season in September. Let's transition from tight end talk to the pass rush, and we'll go from a little bit of negativity to a lot of positivity because there is a rumor that there could be a new Dolphins pass rush package. Bradley Chubb kind of talked about it a little bit. And what could that package be? We're talking NASCAR, baby. What does NASCAR mean? That means all signs go. We're going a million miles per hour at the opposing quarterback. And that package may very well see Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson, and Jalen Phillips all on the field together in obvious passing situations. Now, I don't expect them to get a lot of playing time together on first and second down when the offense has a threat to run or pass the ball. But when it is maybe 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, and it's clearly going to be a throw and a pass play, well, yeah, get your 3 best pass rushers on the field together and just create mismatches all over the football field. We'll talk more about what this package could actually look like in a second. But I do got to show some love to our sponsor on today's show, which is Ethos. And in this day and age, anything is possible, and you can make sure you're covered with Ethos. When someone close to you unfortunately goes, you can't help but think about the future. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. Can help pay the mortgage or your kids' college tuition. Right now, you can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. Life insurance is more affordable than you think. With Ethos, you can get a free quote and customize a rate that fits your budget. The process is 100% online with no medical exam required. Just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Links in the description and comments of today's video. As we get back to the pass rush NASCAR package that we might ultimately see, Bradley Chubb actually talked about all 3 of them sharing the field together, and what he had to say hyped me up a little bit, I can't lie, so let's showcase it. Have offenses thinking, the things we can do with that package. We haven't put everything that we have in. We're seeing the possibilities. It's a race to the quarterback. Nobody wants to be the last one there. And I mean, come on, that is just absolutely awesome stuff from Bradley Chubb. And when you think about that package, it reminds me a lot of what the Eagles have done. We've seen the Cowboys do it as well, where you get your most athletic pass rusher and you don't line them up consistently on the edge. Well, that's what we'll play normally, but you line them up over the center. And I think that's where Chop Robinson would come into play, because if you actually go back to some of his tape at Penn State, he is lined up over the center, standing up, not like a nose tackle or a defensive tackle. No, standing up. He has done it before. So you could have Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips on the edge going after the offensive tackles. And then you can have Zach Sealer and Chop Robinson with Chop standing up over the middle of the interior offensive lineman, and you could run stunts and twists with those two and just utilizes Chop's unbelievable first step in speed to really overwhelm some of these centers and interior offensive linemen. I think this is a package that we will see quite a bit, assuming these guys can stay healthy, and I will be excited to watch these three work hand in hand when they're on the football field together on obvious passing down situations. And this doesn't even go for the NASCAR package. This goes for anything Dolphins football related. If those three are able to stay healthy for the entire season, let's just say all three of them play 14 games or more, which means a handful of them only miss 3 games. I truly believe the Dolphins will have a top 10 pass rush. You got one of the best edge trios, if not the best, when healthy in the National Football League. Zach Sealer and Kenneth Grant in the middle of that defensive line with a potential good duo rushing the passer at linebacker in Jordan Brooks and Willie Gay Jr. at times. We know Anthony Weaver likes to switch it up and bring some corners off the slot. Mike Hilton has a ton of experience doing that. So to me, I think when everything is said and done, if the Dolphins stay healthy, specifically with that edge trio, we are going to see an offense or a defensive line and a pass rush that ranks top 10 in the NFL in pressures, pressure rate, sacks. That's something Miami struggled with last season due to all the injuries. Hopefully they're able to stay healthy and dominate the trenches this year. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we will continue to update you every single day on Miami Dolphins football, and we are almost a week away from the first preseason game. August 10th is very close. We'll have you covered and be live for that game, so subscribe and join the channel. Let's finish out the show by talking about Cam Smith because this is a player that has been in the news and talking points around Miami in a significant way all season long, because Miami really didn't upgrade corner or replace Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller with a big-time name. So Cam Smith, the former second-round pick in 2023, has a lot on his plate. And Miami challenged Cam Smith this offseason, pushing him to be in better shape, to avoid the injury bug that he has had over the first 2 years of his career, where he started on the IR list last season and missed the first 4 games and really just lost out on valuable time to get reps and practice with his teammates in the secondary. In his rookie year, he obviously never was able to get on the field with Vic Fangio. And Cam Smith spoke to reporters saying that he is in much better shape and he is trying to be ready to play 60-plus snaps every single Sunday this NFL season. Will he be on the field for all 60 snaps? I don't know, because his play has to certainly improve. But it all starts with him being available for the Miami Dolphins to actually put him on the football field. This is a player in Cam Smith that I think I am going to be watching with an eagle eye all preseason long. There is a lot of competition in this cornerback room. With Kader Kohou out, there is a lot of opportunity. Storm Duck, Jack Jones, Mike Hilton, all will have an opportunity. Cam Smith, Jason Marshall Jr., Cornell Armstrong, Ethan Bonner, all will have an opportunity. So when we're watching Dolphins preseason football, the number one thing that I'm keeping an eye on is the secondary, is this cornerback room. I'll keep an eye on everything else, obviously, and report back, but I think the number one thing, without a question, is how is Cam Smith performing? How is this cornerback room holding their own against other NFL players rather than their teammates every single day? And this is the last thing I'll say on Cam Smith. He is nowhere near a lock for a 53-man roster spot. We will have to see. Now, it does help him, and it's unfortunate for Miami because I obviously think Kader Kohou is the best corner on this team, but I will say Kohou being out for the year certainly makes it more likely that Cam Smith will make the 53-man roster, but I do not think he is a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. Think about it. You have Mike Hilton. I think Jack Jones can really make it. Jason Marshall Jr. is going to be kept. Storm Duck's probably going to be kept. Those are 4. Is Cam Smith going to be that CB5? What if the Dolphins sign another guy like Rasul Douglas or Sante Samuel Jr.? Well, that puts him in jeopardy again. What about Ethan Bonner? There's a lot of competition in this cornerback room, and I like that there's competition, but it just shows that Cam Smith does not have a guaranteed spot whatsoever. That'll do it for today's show. We continue to have updates on the Dolphins with highlights, clips from training camp over on my Twitter, at Nic_Rohloff. So go give me a follow, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Go Fins.